Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing something a little different from the hardware device based episodes that I've been focusing on lately, and we're actually going to have a look at presence detection in Home Assistant and Node-RED. The purpose of presence detection is to allow your home automation system to determine whether or not you're at home or away. Since your home automation system can't directly interface with your body to determine where you are, this is typically done by interfacing with a mobile device that's on your person, like a cell phone or a smartwatch. There's several ways to achieve this. Some people use GPS tracking on their mobile device, or some people also leverage APIs from third-party cloud services like Nest. But today we're going to be looking at something really simple and really robust. It's a solution that won't chew into your mobile device's battery life and will be really reliable. We're going to rely on Home Assistant's device tracker plugin. It leverages a simple and persistent ping to the device. The theory is really simple. When you get home from being away, your mobile device joins your home's Wi-Fi network and becomes pingable by the Home Assistant server. When Home Assistant gets a ping response from your device, it sets your home away status to home. If your device stops responding to pings, Home Assistant will wait a configurable amount of time, and if it's still unable to reach your device after that time has elapsed, it'll set your home away status to away. It's really simple and it's really effective. Let's get started with that. The first thing that you're going to need to do is log into your router and either set up a DHCP reservation for your mobile device or a static IP for the device that you're going to want to use in device tracking. Personally, I prefer a DHCP reservation since it will require less messing around on the actual device itself and will have less impact when your device goes to connect to other networks that aren't your home, but whatever you're more comfortable with. Once the static IP or DHCP reservation is set up, we're going to go ahead and log into our Home Assistant server. And we're going to go to our configuration.yaml file. Inside configuration.yaml, we're going to paste a code snippet. Put it right, I'll put it right here above my Philips Hue. And what we're going to paste in is an entry called device tracker. The platform type is ping, and that's what I was talking about with the persistent ping. There's a couple different platform types that you can use with Nmap, which can even use device's MAC address if that's easier for you. Very similar in theory. It just uses the MAC address instead of the IP, and then at that point there's no reason to set up persistent IP. So for some people that might be a good solution. For me, it's just as easy to set up a static IP. Track new devices, we're actually going to set this to true, and I'll show you why in a second. For me, my consider home, my consider home is set to 2700, and what consider home is that's the amount of time after no longer being able to ping your device that Home Assistant decides, hey, Brad's probably not home. I have it set this high for a couple reasons. I don't want it thinking I'm away every time I go out in my backyard to water the lawn or cut the grass. I don't want it thinking I'm away every time my phone goes idle and leaves Wi-Fi for 20 minutes or so. I also don't want it to think that I'm away when I go to the corner store and come back. So I've left it at 2700. That's a time that works for me, but just for the purpose of this video, we're going to change that to 30 seconds, just so I don't have to wait 2700 seconds to give a demonstration. And the last bit is the hosts. You can have as many hosts in here as you want, and that's what's really interesting about ping presence detection in Home Assistant is, yes, it's really handy to tell if you're home and away by setting up a mobile device, like I said, in the host section, but you can also use this to track the presence of other devices. Say you have some Wi-Fi enabled sensors or some Wi-Fi enabled cameras that you want to set up automations for if they happen to drop off your Wi-Fi. Well, you can add those as devices too. We'll get a little bit more into that later. For now, I'm just going to keep my phone in there, and right now we'll write and quit this file. Okay, now that file is written, we will go ahead and restart Home Assistant. Okay, and now we're going to be looking in our Home Assistant folder for a file called known devices, and this should become visible a couple seconds after you start Home Assistant, after it picks up your device for the first time. Okay, so there it is, and we'll have a look inside. Okay, so it's found the device that we defined in configuration.yaml, and it's kind of built a boilerplate configuration for that device. The elements that we're going to focus on right now is the name. This is the friendly name, how it appears in Home Assistant. So I'm not going to call it Brad6P. I'm going to call it just Brad. And the track. That means this is the key indicator that tells Home Assistant whether or not to follow your device in terms of home or away status. If you, for some reason, want to stop your device from being flipping from home and away as you leave and come into your Wi-Fi network, you can set this to false if you want to temporarily disable some automations that are associated with that or whatever. But for now, we're going to leave that as true, and we will save and quit this. And then let's go check out our Home Assistant web interface. Okay, so right away you can see that Brad is away. Oh, you know what? It actually says Brad6P, and that's because we did not restart Home Assistant after we made those changes to knowndevices.yaml. So let's actually first do that to make our device, or to make our device. Let's first do that to make our changes persist in the GUI. Okay, so we'll restart Home Assistant one more time. And we'll go back to the web GUI again. Okay, so this time it says Brad, and you can see that I'm away. And the reason for that is because actually my phone, I've turned off Wi-Fi. So I'm going to turn it back on, and we'll see how long it takes for it to show me as home. Okay, so I've just joined the Wi-Fi. And there we go. Home Assistant has detected that I'm home, and it's displaying as such. Perfect. So now let's have a look at this in Node-RED, because that's where all the real cool automations come from, this kind of functionality. Okay, so in order to expose the home away functionality from Home Assistant, we're going to drag out an event state, and we're going to drag out a debug node. For now, we'll connect those up, and we'll configure our event state to the binary sensor name we're going to get from Home Assistant. So we'll go back. And we'll go to State Manager, and we'll find device Brad6P. Or did I go right past it? Yeah, here it is, device tracker Brad6P. Copy. And we'll paste it in here, paste, and done. So I'll deploy this, and right now my phone is connected to Wi-Fi. So I'll just for a second, I'll disconnect from Wi-Fi, and we'll see how that flows into there. So remember, there is a 30-second timeout here, so I'll probably speed up the video a bit so I don't have to sit here for a full 30 seconds. And there we go. Home Assistant has waited for the 30 seconds that it couldn't reach my device in, and it's decided, okay, Brad's not home. It did the state change on the device tracker element, and we've seen it out in the payload. So there's a myriad of things you can do with this kind of functionality. One that I can see right now that is kind of cool is we have a Sonos Slow already up here. So this sets a playlist and plays music on shuffle whenever we use the Scenes lunchtime thing on our Google Home. But what if you want to have that playlist play as soon as you walk through your door every night after work, so you have some kind of relaxing music to wind down in the evening, and you don't have to worry about even putting it on. So that would be as simple as just connecting this node directly to a switch node that filters on when the message payload equals home instead of not home. whenever it gets that home signal from the phone, it starts playing that Sonos flow, which plays some music and should have a playlist going by the time you walk through the door. So let's see what that looks like. I'm now back on my home Wi-Fi, where it's connecting, and there it is connected. And right away, home. And I don't know if you can hear it, but in the background there's some music playing upstairs, so it works. This is only one example of what you can do. Like I was saying earlier, you can attach other pieces of device, other pieces of hardware. Like I was saying earlier, you can attach other pieces of hardware to this, like any sensors that you have for remote temperature sensors, or pieces of hardware like a printer that you want to know if it's on or off or whatever. I'm sure you can come up with much better ideas than me with temperature sensors and printers, but what I'm getting at is it's very simple, very robust functionality that really has limitless potential when it comes to home automation. So take this opportunity, use the comments, give me some ideas of some automations using this that you might like to see, and I can set them up and maybe throw in some cool tips regarding that. But anyway, thanks very much for watching, thanks for bearing with me, and I'll see you next time.